Hello, and welcome to Dad Doesn't Have Time for This, a show where we review things quickly and compare them to everything else in existence. When I was a kid, back in the early 90s, I wanted to watch a superhero movie, and there weren't a lot of options, so I watched Captain America. And you know what? It was terrible. It was just. The costumes were bad, the story was not well put together, the music was bad. It was just not a good movie. And I felt that way for decades. It was the 435th best movie of all time. It was not great. But recently I started to hear a rumor, and that rumor said Captain America from 1990 isn't terrible. I was wrong. And I thought to myself, how could that be? That movie was terrible. There's no way it could possibly be good. But then I discovered this. Albert Pyun, however you pronounce his names, Captain America, courtesy of Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Video or something like that. So just Google it. You'll find it if you want a copy. And what is this, you may ask? This is the original cut that the director carried around in a truck for decades. That they just scanned prior to his death, and he never actually got to see. I have number 26. These are very limited run, so get them while they last. And not only is this not the movie you remember from the 90s, it is vastly better. It's been, well, technically it hasn't been reorganized. It's prior to it being reorganized into a garbage heap that was the version that we all saw on VHS back in the 90s. So in the version we saw back in the day, it was, I believe, a direct-to-video release. It had like really cheesy pop music, and it was not good. But one of the key differences is, so there's two key things that make this version of the movie actually good. I know that this may sound as a shock, but Captain America 1990 is actually good in its original format. So the key differences are, one, it doesn't tonally fall apart. It's more tonally consistent. And the original cut is more of a character piece slash spy thriller than an action movie. And as such, it just works so much better. The original release was in chronological order. This movie uses the World War II footage interspersed throughout the film. So as characters are like reflecting on what brought them to where they are, you get flashbacks. So instead of just being like one blurb at the beginning and then a blurb at the end, it all intersperses out. And while normally I prefer things in chronological order, I'm looking at you, Dunkirk. This is an exception where it's actually better in non-chronological order. I'm looking at you, Following. And it works really well. Like, characters look and then reflect, and then you see how they got to where they were. Like, Red Skull looks at his hand, and you have a flashback to him getting his hand chopped off. And it just works, and it flows so much better than the original cut. And it may not seem like breaking it up would make it flow better, but it actually does flow better. The character moments, they got rid of all the cheesy pop music. The music's much more somber. It goes much more with the tone of the film. I think there's 10, 20 minutes of extra footage, something like that. I don't know off the top of my head, and I'm not going to look it up because I don't have time for that. But despite this, it's paced better, the characters are better. And does this version of the movie have its flaws? Sure it does. Captain America still looks like Captain America from the 1990 movie because it is the same footage roughly, but it's edited and presented in a way that makes sense. So as long as you can get around the weird Red Skull makeup, the ridiculous Captain America outfit, which they address in the film, which I kind of enjoyed. This is a wonderful look at things, and yes, it's rough. It's clearly scanned from like a 35mm film or something. Maybe not 35mm. It's clearly a film scan. It's got scan lines all over the place, pops here and there. There's certain scenes where the audio just cuts out for 2 or 3 seconds, or it's got that like flickery thing when they're like switching between reels or whatever. Like it's pretty obvious. This was they didn't clearly have a lot of money to put in this. They simply went, please scan this the best you can, and then we're going to release it as is. They clearly didn't have a budget to clean it up, and that's okay, because that actually, in my opinion, adds the character of this film, and it makes it feel more honest and sincere. If this was something like The Matrix, yeah, I'd want it cleaned up. But this isn't The Matrix. This isn't Lord of the Rings. This is Captain America 1990. And this is a dude who came from Canon Films, for crying out loud. Those guys were crazy and they had no money. And they had fun with it. And that's really what this movie is. It's not really fun. It's kind of a somber, depressing movie. But you know what? It makes you feel for these characters. It actually takes the end of the movie and makes it somber. It actually makes you feel sad for Red Skull there for a minute there. There's this beautiful piece of him playing the piano at the very end that was cut out of the original film. So instead of him holding some stupid bomb, he goes to the piano, plays a piece while thinking about the life he left behind and the pain he's gone through, and you feel for the guy. And then he gets killed, and you're like, oh, I kind of almost feel sad for him. You do not get that in the original movie. The original movie was cut so poorly that all the emotion, all the heart was gone, and it was just a sloppy, crappy 90s low-budget movie. But this cut of the movie is substantially better. Also, because physical media is the best media, I got these cool postcards and a Captain America trading card, and they got some other movies. Maybe I'll check out Cyborg. I don't know. We'll see. This director was never really on my radar until I discovered that there's a version of this movie that's good, and it is good. And I'd say it is the 239th best movie of all time. I'll hopefully try to put a link if you want to pick up a copy. Highly recommend it. I had a great time with this. I hope you do too. You all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.